Yeah.
Yep.
Music gonna forge the way. I was not live for any of that. Oh hell yeah! It's it's happy hour. God damn it, man! I was
Wait, you weren't live?
No, I was doing the DJ thing, and my mic was muted, and I was gonna be all like 105.9 The Cat. Kook and the Racist Badger in the morning.
So we just literally flipped live right now?
No. We've been live, but
We've been live.
But
Okay.
I wanted to do that cool transition thing
Yeah,
where it's
yeah.
like the song's just ending and then we're bringing it in. And
Oh,
all
you
that
wanted
stuff.
to hit the post and like,
yeah. No, I didn't.
Gotcha.
It was muted. Yeah. Hey, man, it's been a week.
Well, at least we seg transition or seamlessly from that. You know, at least we did that. Yeah, man, it has been wild times, man. I know you guys are grinding down to the bone out there in Austin, shooting all these Modern Rogue episodes and everything that goes into that, plus 100-degree heat, plus COVID, plus everything, and you guys are on empty. I've been grinding out here doing the conventions for the past 2 weeks, but I feel like I know for me at least there's a little bit more relief here, actually pretty much on the opposite side of this podcast. For you, close, right? You guys are getting there.
As I see you in the chat brings up, Josie's well, like it was a 24-hour thing. She's past her sickness. Internally, we had a bit of a dust up where we realized, like, oh wait, we don't have a protocol for what happens when blank disagrees with blank, and so
that's pressure. You guys are under a lot of pressure, correct. Sometimes it bursts
you find
pipes.
out that stuff in those moments, right?
Exactly.
So just before we went live, we released the new Scam Nation episode, and then as soon as we're done here, we'll be releasing the new Modern Rogue episode. So I mean, it's a lot, and also like we're in that. We're in that wonderful middle phase of Metamorphosis where it's like we're between a garage band and we're a garage band that is starting to play stadiums and starts to understand why there's so much structure to stadium band stuff, you know? And so we're having to figure the structure out. And, you know, that's not exactly the easiest thing to do, but it's very important, and I'm really excited
it's
because
also not easy to do.
Board.
It's also not easy to do when you're at the ass end of a month and a half of like all hands on deck. We're shooting everything we're going to have until the end of the year, you know, kind of stuff like that. I mean, it's like there's a lot. And again, this story could be 2 hours longer and have 50,000 more details, but it's not going to get any more resonant than a lot of pressure, and
there's a lot
of stuff that's there, which, but how much longer do you have in this pod? Do you have any sense of, can you see the end of the tunnel?
It's sort of a good news, bad news thing. Good news, bad news is that Jason has expressed like, hey, I'm in it for the long haul. So Jason moves here. We all feel the need to double down, you know, in addition to our regular day jobs. Also,
as long as Jason,
right?
Yeah, as long as Jason is there, let's make cotton when the sun is high, and let's not waste his time because he is sacrificing a lot, uprooting his entire daily existence to be there.
Well, and so there was a really nice moment last night when he was like, "Hey, you do realize it's not unpleasant for me to be here. I have a place. I'm not necessarily with my wife and dogs, but it's not unpleasant to be here. And when you guys delay things, I don't begrudge it because, like, kind of the undercurrent was, it's kind of nice. You have a nice place." I'm staying at a nice place. This is a very nice working vacation.
Yes.
So yes, I'm very much looking forward to going back to my wife, but also I'm not exactly in jail here, fellas.
Yeah.
Which made me very, very happy to hear.
Well, that is good. But that also means that you don't have any sense of when this thing is going to wrap up.
Well, I think we're a week or 2 weeks away. I mean, like yesterday was very productive. We got 3 episodes in the bag, and today was kind of a fun day because everybody called off on I need to edit, and so as a result, Jason and I hung out for a bit, and it's like we found ourselves doing some high concept thinking that normally we would never, like, I would never call Jason over to watch Kurt Vonnegut explain the shape of stories. But
Yeah.
we started the day and we started talking, and then it's like, hey John, do you want to play ping pong or a space team, or I don't know, some kind of team building, whatever? And he's like, I would love to, but I really have to finish this video.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
like, and so then it's like, why don't you show Jason some videos? You seem to love that. And so we like
That is
like,
the thing that you love. Brian Brushwood. Know this about Brian Brushwood. Like, we could be in a situation where we were all in a plane going down and everybody's trying to like figure out where the manual is. And Brian Brushwood would at some point be like, I think it's under the sea. Under the sea. Have you ever seen that video where the guy goes, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, you have to watch it. You have to watch it right now. And he would be trying to load it on the Downing airline Wi-Fi to show you whatever the video. You love showing people videos.
In this case, I would like to say it's work related because number one,
Sure.
he had never seen the Kurt Vonnegut Shape of Stories videos, which I feel like is important. And then second of all, we ended up sort of watching. There are multiple now Dan Harmon Story Circle videos, and
Gotcha.
we loaded up the wrong one. And it was about the Dark Knight, and it's like, well, might as well watch this. And then we watched the right one, but it's doggone that Story Circle. It's a simple way to tell a story.
To tell a story now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I think, in terms of your schedule, I only ask because if it's we don't know, then it's longer than 3 weeks, right? Because you can tend to think like, oh, well, next week we got to do X, Y, and Z. Oh, geez. And then the week after that, we got to do A, B, and C. And then if you have something beyond A, B, and C, then it's like, we don't know. Because you're always going to assume that everything's going to expand.
At this point, we're a month in, and I believe we've shot 26 episodes. So I would say that on paper, we're
You're
supposed
close,
to go
yeah.
one more week. But realistically, we might go, and that doesn't even count like doing ads is a whole day affair, right? Like we set everything up, and then we do 4 15-minute shoots of ads or whatever. It's so weird how for every 1 minute of video that shows up on the final episode, there were 5 to 10 minutes of everything that went into it.
Oh yeah, especially because you guys really find the story in the shooting. Like it's not heavily scripted. There are beats to hit. The experiment is scripted, but everything else is you guys find the moments. You explore, tangents. You make sure that you polish the moments that you need the most. So yeah, I think the one episode I shot with you guys, it could get, I was just telling a story. And even then there was like moments of like, oh, okay, well, let's go back. Or that was a good thing. Let's actually keep in on that. You're doing a lot of like branching stuff, A, to give your editors options, and B, just to make sure that everything you could possibly get there in the moment, you got there in the moment, because that moment never comes back.
Well, and also sometimes like the shoot starts and then you think you know the story, and then about 10 minutes in, you're like, no, this is where it's at, right? We did it in an episode on sugar glass, like making bottles, that stuntmen would break over each other's head.
Yeah, that's like old West saloon. Like wah, psh, and you'd smash the bottle on somebody's, some lout's head.
There was definitely a moment where like Jason smashed one over my head, and I was like, "Oof, that hurt worse than I thought." And it's like, well, now it's my turn, and he said something insulting, and I grabbed one and smashed it over his head. definitely the one I smashed over his head was twice as thick. And he
Oh.
definitely saw stars, and he definitely has a big old fat knot on his head.
Good goddamn.
He broke a fake glass over my head. I full on injured him.
Broke a glass on his head.
Yeah, right. It was insane. Oof.
Well, look, I think you guys are all going to come out with some scars that you can show off, because chicks dig scars, and it's gonna be good by the end of it. But man, that's a lot. That is a lot to record.
Yeah, we're at the end. We're in the last week. It's everybody's wound tight, but you would expect that. It seems to be going well though. I'm not, which is not to say everything is easy, but my goodness, it makes me realize that, like, for the first time, I realized an org chart is a thing you can point to that explains whether or not somebody is right or wrong. That's all stuff I'm having to figure out. Also, yesterday I banned somebody in the chat. Do we want to talk about that?
Well, we're here now.
Okay. All right. Well, somebody said.
Do you want to talk about it?
I mean, look. Sure. To the person that abandoned the chat. Number one, normally there's an adult at the boards. It's Bryce. Number two, normally the person behind the boards has a full emotional gas tank, and has not had a really tough day, followed by 3 episodes of Modern Rogue. And normally when somebody says something incendiary and I respond to them with a diffusing comment to the tune of, haha, yeah, surely Brian's checked out. Not because he is secretly ashamed of underpaying his employees, but because he literally doesn't understand whatever Meryl Barr and Justin are talking about. And normally whoever says that thing doesn't double down and then say, no, I think it's because you underpay your employees. And in that moment, I was just like, I don't know how this works, but right click, there's the word ban. And so that happened. So hopefully that person understands that there's nothing personal and you're welcome back anytime.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole nother conversation that could be had about well, I mean, it's hard to even go into it, because the further details about where your emotional state is a whole nother conversation that is not for air. But like,
I think you could even scrape that off the top, and everything I've said is fair. Like even if
no, nothing you said is unfair.
Baggage. Yeah,
it's like, it's just not something that I thought was necessarily even like relevant to the conversation, let alone in any way based in fact. So it's like, the fact that you banned him, whatever, it's fine.
I've never banned anyone, so that was my congrats. You're my first ban, and it was because you were doubling down on a thing that I thought was unfair, unkind, and out of context, and you seemed committed to it. So me not knowing how to do a timeout or whatever, I just clicked ban. So sorry.
I mean, yeah, I don't think you necessarily have to apologize, but I can appreciate the desire to do so. So, that is what it is, man. That's community. Sometimes you got to calm some stuff down, and sometimes that's how it goes.
Yeah, boy, it was a hot day in temperature and in emotions yesterly, and today.
And it's hot too.
Yeah, it was a little.
You ever seen that?
It was
you ever
better.
seen Pootie Tang?
No.
It's one of my favorite things in Pootie Tang. There's just like this running gag where one of Chris Rock's characters is just like talking about like, whoo, it's hot out here. Hot, man, it's hot. And he's just got this friend who's just like, yeah, and it's hot too. And it's just like, that's what I said. I said it was hot. And he's like, yeah, I'm just saying it's hot.
What was the movie where they took like an existing kung fu movie and then they just redubbed it with different context on everything?
Is that What's Up Tiger Lily? Is that the Woody Allen What's Up Tiger Lily?
No, it was like Enter the Fist or something. Doggone it. Chat will have it.
I know What's Up Tiger Lily definitely did that, but I don't think that was a kung fu movie.
Kung Pao, Enter the Fist. So they just took an existing movie and it's like they would computer graphics in like a bag of Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And then they did alternate translations on everything. I saw there was at the Alamo Drafthouse, they did a live Foley and translation thing of a kung fu movie, which was amazing. Highly recommend.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So it's like you like somebody grabs two steak knives and is watching and is going tink 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 with the swords and then punch 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 and then grabbing two bags of sand and going walk 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 and then other people are doing the translation and vocalizations and stuff.
That's great. Yeah, that's such a smart idea, man. Alamo Drafthouse is so smart when it comes to programming. Like they're just like really pioneers in it. Do you think that they open their doors before the end of the year? Probably not, right?
I think they're open now.
Are they?
Yeah, I think they're unpopularly open right now.
Oh.
But
people are like, you better not be open.
As a matter of fact, and maybe this is worth talking about, I think they're giving away free tickets to the Bill and Ted movie.
Really?
Yeah.
They just want people to get on in there.
I mean, think about it. That's the kind of movie where it's like, yeah, you could watch it at home, but I mean, wouldn't you rather watch it surrounded by other 30 to 40-year-olds? Like,
if you're not assuming that they're going to kill you, then yes, of course. Like that would be the only thing. And usually that would be a statement of how excited I am, right? I'd just be like, oh my God, I really need to go watch it.
So,
yeah.
Do you want to maybe do like a live stream of just our reacting to Bill and Ted? Do you think we can get away with that, or can we watch it together as a watch party?
I don't know. I mean, anything is possible. I don't know if the logistics of us watching it physically together would be as good or as rewarding for the audience as us just doing a podcast about it, but.
Yeah, that's probably better. Maybe what we do is
because most people are not going to be able to watch it live. Yeah, I mean, like that'll be a very, very, very slim crowd.
Okay, so not live, but maybe you and I watch it together, and then we do our commentary track for anybody, and we sort of we're the
I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to do a commentary track first watch. Just because I want to enjoy it. Because like if me and you, I know me, if I'm doing a commentary track with you, then I'm going to be thinking about jokes and about connecting with you and making it a funny thing.
Right.
And like, man, I've been looking for Bill and Ted 3 since I was however old I was when I saw Bogus Journey. Like, that was like my favorite movie at the time. And I've rewatched it since and I love it so much. So it's like, I really just kind of want to luxuriate. I want to catch all the little things and do that. But I'd love to do a podcast about it.
Maybe there's some other movie that we could do that like that's something like the closest you and I ever got was the drug PSA.
The drug PSA.
Thing.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty good.
Cartoon All-Stars to the rescue. Sure. Well, there is a thing now that anybody with Prime, we can stream and watch it on Twitch. Like Twitch allows
showing the thing and we get to talk over it.
I think it goes through Twitch. So we enter it, we like say what we want through Twitch, but that means that anybody who's logged in that connects their Prime account to their Twitch account, they can watch it with us.
Holy shit. I'm so down for that. I would love to do that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, we'll have to maybe in the Discord, if you guys if there's any sleuths that can pick out some good stuff that's on Prime Video, some good movies that maybe we could watch. That'd be super fun.
That's awesome. So I got Josie to. I didn't make her watch all of Alien, but I scooped us through like 30 minutes in to see the egg throw the face hugger on, and then face hugger leaves, and then I let it play when the chest burster happens and all that, and then I sort of explain like how interesting it is that third officer Ripley in no way is presented as the eventual hero turns out to be, and there's this, that, and the other. And then we watched the last like 20 minutes where finally she's gonna lay down with Jonesy the cat and freeze herself for the transition. Only whoopsie doodle, there's the alien, and so she gets into the spacesuit and then blows him out the airlock. And then which I think as a 40-minute primer was pretty good going into Aliens. Because Aliens really does just pick up the story right where that ends. Only 57 years later, because it's amazing that they found her. So we're at the point where we get to the moment where they ask Vasquez, like, you ever get mistaken for a man? And she goes, no. Do you? It was fucking great. So that's the moment we're pausing at. We'll probably watch the rest of that tonight.
Dude, Aliens is so good.
Right?
I love Aliens.
Right?
Aliens is just such an iconic, ass-kicking... Like, what's the last, like, ass-kicking sci-fi movie? Like, I feel like sci-fi movies now, like, we're in a very cerebral phase for sci-fi movies.
Let me throw this at you. What is the best high-concept, ass-kicking sci-fi movie outside of the Marvel franchise since Edge of Tomorrow?
I mean, but even Edge of Tomorrow isn't... That's not the point. The point of Aliens... Well, I mean, all right, so wait, are we trying to find another Aliens, or are we trying to find another Edge of Tomorrow? Is your question looking to find which of those two?
Well, I'm thinking in my mind I went through
because I wouldn't put them in the same. I wouldn't put them in the same thing. Yes,
and sci-fi, and then it happens that Edge of Tomorrow also is high concept, whereas Aliens is not. But Edge of Tomorrow happens to be high concept and happens to be just amazing from beginning to end. It's so good.
Well, it's an amazing movie. I love Edge of Tomorrow. And despite the fact that there is a kind of Ridley-esque badass chick, and there is a trip to the center of the center of oblivion,
the hive mind, whatever.
To save the day, like, it's not, the point of it is not ass kicking. Like, ass kicking is like, that's the folly. The folly is you think you can just kick the ass of this thing, but no, you have to get out of your own way before you do it.
Atatuma in the chat says District 9. It's like, man, District 9 spends an awful lot of time pretending to be the Fly before it gets around to being Half-Life.
Yeah. By the time it turns into Bad Boys, like, it's, I mean, and that was, God, talk about the difference between, like a first movie and a second movie when you realize like what the director really wanted to do because they get more freedom. And it's like, what a bummer with Neil Blomkamp that like we go from District 9 and it's like, to me, what sold me on District 9, I was like, all right, I walked into the theater on it's apartheid, but with bugs.
Right.
And then you really kind of got me going with the like,
Fly.
Now he's the Fly. But you brought me home when it became Bad Boys. You brought me home when it was just like wise guy, like I'm getting too old for this shit, kind of mismatched partners buddy cop movie. And then Elysium comes along and it's like, nope, I only want to do allegories. I'm just here for the heavy social commentary. And it's like, oh, but you're not gonna, none of the None of the Bad Boy. None of the just the.
Mm,
Okay, all right. Well, look at that.
I never watched Elysium, and I certainly didn't watch what was it, Chappie?
Chappie. I didn't make it to Chappie.
Yeah.
I was just kind of bummed out by Elysium. It's just kind of boring.
But we could celebrate. District 9 was legit.
District 9 was
magic.
great.
Full on magic.
Now, not an ass kicker though. Not an ass kicker. We need an ass kicker. We need like
an ass kicker, and the game to beat is Aliens, right?
The game to beat is Aliens.
I would say,
or Terminator. Terminator. I mean, I would say Terminator 2. Like with now they have the T-1000 and
both. This predates both of them, but Predator, like,
Predator,
right?
And Predator almost. It's a different version of it, but it's certainly that. It's a subversion. Dread. There we go.
Works.
Dread works.
Dread is I'm not going to say better or worse than, but I will say the most recent. The closest we've gotten to Aliens, Predator, or the other one you said is Dread.
Ooh, I gotta rewatch Dread. Oh, I love Dread so much.
Especially, I mean, that's what's her name from Game of Thrones, man.
Yeah, and what's his face from The Boys?
Yeah, Carl Urban, is that his name?
Yeah, and Avon Barksdale from The Wire.
Oh my God, I gotta go watch both of those. Oh,
people are saying The Matrix. The Matrix is.
I mean, The Matrix is The Matrix.
It is ass kicking though. Like it is about. I mean, like even to the point where it makes. Because here's the thing in the ass kicking universe. In this genre, you have to have a reason for having people that you can dispatch. And The Matrix was like, yep, these are all computer characters. Shoot them all. We don't care. You don't actually care about any of these computer characters. You don't care about the Mr. and Mrs. or Mr. Smith. Like, you can kill as many Mr. Smiths as you want. He's a computer thing. Obviously Alien is like creepy, crawly, unlovable alien creatures that are trying to kill them. And Dread is like, oh, like literally, this is not even crime. This is super crime so far removed. And also, they're all trying to kill our hero.
Alanon 6666 brings up The Raid. Have you seen it?
I have not seen The Raid. No,
okay,
but I am aware. I am aware of what it is. I am aware of why it is special.
I am in the unique position
because you got taught. You got choreography lessons from The Raid guy, right?
Yeah, exactly. And also went to Indonesia and watched an entire live spectacle. I'm like, I don't get it. And they're like, there's a movie called The Raid. It's from Indonesia. It's very good. You should watch it. And so I still haven't seen it. So maybe that would be fun for us to do as a group watch.
The Raid. Yeah. So we were looking for sci-fi action. Sci-fi action is really what we were trying to
specifically.
Ass-kicking sci-fi action. Running Man is not a bad version. It has the meta idea, and it's definitely a little hokier in that you're always a little bit removed from the Running Man. Like, and part of that is the charm of it, is that Richard Dawson, it never goes full like, oh my God, I'm terrified that Arnold Schwarzenegger is never going to survive.
Right.
It's always, it's giving you these breaks of like, oh, haha, what a fun world they're building. The world of the Running Man is almost more of a star than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What about Run Lola Run?
Not suspense thriller, not an ass kicker.
Okay, yeah. but they get 3 at-bats on that because they tell the different versions of the story.
Now that's high concept.
Yeah.
I'm more willing to put that in the high concept bucket of Edge of Tomorrow.
RoboCop? Does RoboCop begin or belong in that club?
Yeah, I would put RoboCop in that club.
Yeah.
RoboCop, there's a clearly defined enemy. We don't care about the henchmen. We want him to kill all of them. He eventually does.
For $1.
We'd buy it for $1. Bada bing bang boom.
Yeah.
No, Predator is there. Man, it just gets me into
Predator versus Commando. Which one?
Predator.
I think so because of the sci-fi concept, right? But
Yeah.
in terms of pacing and intensity, they're roughly equal, right?
I have far fonder memories for Predator than Commando, but that isn't necessarily. It's been a very long time since I've watched Commando. So,
Oh man, Commando! That moment he's got the dude over the cliff, and he said, "Oh my God, you said you would kill me last. You said that. You said that." And he goes, "I lied." And he just lets him fall. So good.
The Resident Evil franchise. That actually, I'm not a gigantic fan of those movies, but that's certainly what they wanted to do. They wanted to make that's a sci-fi ass kicker franchise. Yes, absolutely.
Total Recall is one I'm trying to get the kids to watch. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2
I wish
weeks.
I had more hands.
Boy, he enjoyed borrowing that line on the Arsenio Hall show.
Yeah,
Actually, Mad Max Fury Road 100% belongs in the club. Beginning to end, brutal.
only okay.
Over the top. Perfect. Pitch perfect action.
100%. I agree. The only thing that I would say is slightly different is they're not going through Immortan Joe's like defenses. They are always running away from it. So
Right.
it's like it's
And
only
then they turn around and go back, and we're like,
and then-
anyway,
yeah.
anyway, we defeated him. We're here now. Give us this land. Thanks. It's us, the main characters.
Yeah. So it's like I don't want to take it out of bucket. It belongs in the bucket, but it belongs with a label on it saying it is great because it's a subversion of this genre.
I have one I want to throw out there, and it's okay if you don't think it belongs in the same category. But
okay, what about Bob?
Rumble in the Bronx?
Sure. I mean, I don't know where to put a lot of the kung fu movies because, like, number one, they're not quite sci-fi, but also, like, that is a genre of kung fu movie. The hero, goes through a billion different baddies and then eventually gets to the main guy. Like that is the genre without the sci-fi pastiche.
What about Shoot 'em Up? Where are you at there?
The movie Shoot 'em Up or the genre Shoot 'em Up?
No. The movie, the one with Clive Owen, the one where it's like you watch the first 3 minutes. I remember I went to my brother's place and we got wicked high and we started watching Shoot 'em Up. And 3 minutes in, I turned to Jay. I was like, because I was convinced that the opening scene was going to be a dream or something like that.
Yeah.
And I turned to Jay and I was just like, oh my God, what if the whole movie was like this? And then like 3 minutes later, I turned to Jay and I go, I think the whole movie's like this. It's
Big
so
Trouble.
great.
People are saying Big Trouble in Little China.
Yes.
I'm
100%. That's in the club.
It's a little bit more of a whodunit though, right? Like there's a little. It's not just like you don't know. He's not just going through a line of. Like the universe is not necessarily the thing that's trapping him. There is like this exploration of another deeper world that like you are going along with Jack Burton on.
Sure. Well, and also it was the first movie where I ever saw a beholder and they just acted like it was no big deal. It was amazing.
Oh crap. Oh, here's one. Crank 2. High voltage.
I haven't seen any of the Crank things, but I hear they're pretty good.
Crank is not. It's okay. It's worthwhile, but what is good about Crank gets elevated to high art, like just trash art. Might be the greatest thing that Jason Statham has ever done.
Wow,
it is ridiculous.
Over Snatch,
ridiculous. Huh? Because he's the Snatch guy.
Yeah.
And he's like kind of
cool. It's before he's Calvin and Hobbes or whatever the
Well, all right. So so early aughts Statham, right? Before he went full or even like in the Transporter and all that. Statham is really, really cool because Uh, he's very suave and under control, but man, when he gets angry, that's when everything
He
starts
hulks
getting
out.
really
Yeah,
excited,
sure,
and he
sure.
gets really, it's animated and it's fun and it's unpredictable. What if somebody was like, "Yeah, that the whole movie. No cool. I don't want you to look cool at all. You're just going to be constantly under your two situations, totally hulked out or just hurried. Like there's going to be no you in a suit, no you sipping a martini, just go 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 go." Oh god, I would love to see Crank 2 again. Um yeah, I'll tell you what. John Wick, certainly. Again, people were saying John Wick, but that's more in
That's
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 not in the sci-fi category.
that's one that I've held off on, like a present.
None of the Wicks.
Yeah, everybody loves them so much that it's like somehow like knowing that they're good makes it like, well, then I don't need to watch it now. In an experimental phase, I should do it for a purpose or whatever.
Can I give you a hot take?
Yeah,
Someone said Scott Pilgrim overrated.
I fell asleep watching Scott Pilgrim.
Overrated.
I've tried twice. I fell asleep twice.
There's great moments, but boy, is the plot shaped like a video game that I'm not playing. And boy, do I not have the same hooks into the characters, no matter how awesome the little segments are, no matter how much I love all the actors, no matter how great some of the visual gags are, no matter how much it's like, hey, that's like a video game.
It's like, yeah, I
Just
played a video game before. I know what they look like. So,
yeah.
How about you tell a story?
Yeah, I know that's kind of sacrilege with like the geek crowd. The geek crowd
and
is.
I'm not qualified because I literally have tried twice and not managed to make my way through. So that only makes me worse.
I remember really liking it in the theaters, and then one day Ash and I were like kind of out on a little dinner date, and then we got to talking about movies, and then I was like, "Oh, you ever watch Scott Pilgrim?" We came back, and I was just like, "Ew."
I rewatched it, and I'm disappointed to report that Starship Troopers does not hold up 20 years later. It's very close.
Really?
Well, it's just that there was enough spectacle and everything was novel enough in the late 90s that the satire was buried. But now, where you know all the tricks and you know where it's headed and everything, you're like, yeah, I get it. You're doing sloppy satire. And it's like, damn it, you're right.
I mean, isn't that kind of the Verhoeven formula?
No.
Isn't that like what makes Verhoeven great?
RoboCop does hold up, and I'm halfway through Total Recall, which I think holds up. But Starship Troopers is the one that due to its reliance on computer CGI or whatever, it's not holding up as well as I had hoped, which is too bad because it's got MPH, it's got Michael Ironside, it's got.
So now, you're looking at the paper mache and you're seeing the paper mache where before you were like, wow, it's a great realistic alien world. And also look at this crazy fascist, imagery.
Maybe it's because I watched it back to back with The Fly, and Cronenberg's The Fly really holds up. Like no computer graphics. Like all practical effects, and it was my 12-year-old daughter that demanded we watch The Fly, and oh man, I was twisting at the imagery and what was portrayed during all of that. It's great. It really holds up.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of another. I guess maybe you mentioned this early, but I would like to explore it more. That the Marvel movies have kind of taken the air out of the idea of the like beat 'em up, kill 'em all genre, since there's like that's so much of what the Marvel movies, especially the first two runs through it, were just henchmen on henchmen on henchmen, powers on powers on powers, big set pieces, and you're like, oh, those are kind of the hallmarks of the sci-fi like kill 'em all genre, you know, the sci-fi ass kicking genre.
Torek in the chat points out Minority Report is I think that's a good
It's a
contender.
detective movie.
But
That's a detective
nowhere
movie.
near Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow is 100 times better.
Well, and also, it's not high concept. It's just a sci-fi detective movie. It's a fine sci-fi detective movie
with ESP and all that stuff, and and also gross out.
Yeah, but that's the sci-fi part.
Vignettes.
The sci-fi part of the sci-fi detective movie is that it's in the future and they have ESP.
Yeah.
Or really that they
oh, where are you at?
Do they have ESP? As high concept sci-fi, awesome. It's great. High concept sci-fi.
And as acting flex, it's awesome. Like watching JGL do his impression of friggin' Die Hard.
Bruce Willis.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we have a conversation about our man Rian Johnson?
Yeah. Who, by the way, at the time of the release of the second new Star Wars movie, I think Justin and I were both fairly vocal and ebullient about how he subverted expectations and how we liked The Last Jedi. Where are you at now?
I still think it's the best of those three. There are elements of the movie that I find frustrating. I don't know whether or not I find them frustrating because they are such big turns from what had been set up, or whether or not I'm frustrated that they didn't commit to the turns and build off them.
Yeah.
I don't know whether or not him turning the wheel so hard left nothing for somebody else, and I think JJ just rushed through that. So I don't know whether to blame JJ or just be like, well, yeah, you left them in a lurch, and now where are they going to go compared to where they wanted to go? And then the fan backlash, blah, blah, blah.
It's as though the trilogy was, I think this, and then the second one was like, no. And then the third one was like, okay.
Yeah, no, it was if it were an improv sketch, it'd be like, hey, John, we're both working here at Baskin Robbins. How about you hand me the ice cream scooper? And then the other guy going, ice cream scooper? We're on a space station. This is a ray gun. And then the third one was the Emperor coming back to life for no reason.
And everyone else in the scene is like, I can't violate the rules of sketch comedy.
Zip, zap, zop, I guess. What, yeah. So that being said, I was really, the further I get away from Knives Out, the more I'm kind of just underwhelmed about Knives Out, in that I didn't think it was a particularly great whodunit. And this is coming from like Brick. You've seen Brick, right?
No.
Oh, Brick is Rian Johnson's first movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and it's great. And that is a great whodunit. It is an amazing whodunit.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. I mean, Knives Out is definitely better than The Last Jedi, right?
Oh, I mean, that's kind of a different comparison. I mean, it's there's the risk reward of playing in the big franchise genre, that if you knock it out of the park, you're a legend forever, blah, blah, blah. Knives Out is his own story. He got to build his own story and execute it exactly how he wanted. The characters were just as quirky as he wanted. But for a movie that was building itself as the mystery fans' mystery movie, the whodunit fans' whodunit. What happens when the whodunit author, the man who writes whodunits, gets killed in a whodunit? We will find out. And it's like,
well, I liked it enough that when we got home, and I watched it, it was me, Bonnie, and Josie, and we liked it enough that I was like, you have to watch Clue. And Clue 35 years old, stood up and better than Knives Out. Full stop. It's that pitch black comedy, the ensemble cast, everything about Clue is like holds up. When's the last time you watched Clue?
Not soon enough. Yeah, I mean, I would not disagree. I think it was. I thought Clue was awesome, and I thought, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily put them in the same category though.
Huh?
Brick and Clue
and
Knives Out and Clue. Yeah.
I guess I did because a bit of a over the top action, a bit of a closed set mystery. What else would belong in that category?
Of Clue or Knives Out?
Between Clue and Knives Out, who else is there?
I mean, that's the thing is, I keep putting in my head, I'm having a hard time even putting the spectrum together because I just kind of feel
Murder
that
on the Orient Express, I think, yeah, sure.
But that's more Clue because Clue is the locked room thing where Knives Out is not. Like Knives Out to me is just in the realm of, in the same way that Brick was about high school kids that are dealing drugs, right? And it was told as a noir story. This is a rich family has a will that they need to execute as told through the lens of a crazy Agatha Christie mystery. It's like speaking a language, but it's not a nobody's leaving until we find, out who's done it, and we see everybody kind of crack and break a little bit. Brothers Bloom, I would say, is in that would be more in the Knives Out category. But yeah, locked room mystery stuff, I would say Murder on the Orient Express, probably.
I guess on the sci-fi side, there's stuff like, doggone it. I think there was a Christopher Nolan one that was like that, and then The Cell, and
yeah. Have you seen the reviews on Tenet?
No, I'm afraid. Are they bad?
Not so good, Al.
Yeah.
It's a lot of. Apparently, there's just a lot of it.
So, going into the weekend, I have some coupons to get my kids to watch stuff. We have the second half of Aliens to watch that Josie is down for, and she's past the hard part where I gave her like a 40-minute primer on the original Alien, and then I got her to the part where they wake up from hypersleep and she's jockeying with the Space Marines, and she gets behind the wheels of the forklift and so on. And so like that's kind of a prime moment to pause, and then we'll watch the rest of that tonight. But what else? What after that?
Well, give me a genre, and I can recommend something for you. Like, are you looking for something more in the sci-fi category? No, or do you want to switch it up?
Pretty much anything okay. Anything, and I've started to figure out, like, anything that feels like a 12-year-old is too young to see, but you watched when you were 12. So Jurassic Park, The Fly.
So you want action stuff. You don't necessarily want like comedy stuff or anything like that.
Comedy stuff would be fine. Time Bandits, we already watched. That's a really good suggestion.
All right, only because I used it as a throwaway joke earlier. What about Bob?
Actually, Bonnie loves that movie beyond words. She loves that movie beyond words.
Number one, because it's amazing. It is such a great movie. But yeah, I mean, just a great Bill Murray performance, a great Richard Dreyfuss performance.
You know what? Speaking of which, I don't think they've seen Groundhog Day, even though they have seen Edge of Tomorrow. Maybe watching the original there.
Yeah, that one. I mean, and certainly Dark.
Arrival would be a great one.
Arrival.
I was medium on Arrival because I had already read Slaughterhouse 5, so the big twist at the end didn't really,
Well, by the way, if you want to show them the most high concept version of the Bill and Ted ending.
Yeah, right. Oh my God, One Crazy Summer. I watched that every single day for an entire summer on Betamax.
Oh, geez.
I could quote extended chunks of One Crazy Summer.
Yeah. Wait, how old is Josie now?
12, about to be 13.
12?
She's
About to be 13?
two or 3 months away from 13.
That's when I first watched Pulp Fiction. My mom got me Pulp Fiction on videotape when I was 13.
Yeah, I guess I was 19 at the time. Equilibrium. I don't know if I could get them to stay in the room long
That's a
enough.
sci-fi ass kicker. That's certainly more on the on the kung fu side, but that's a sci-fi ass kicker. Yeah.
Yeah, the gun kata.
Gun kata. Yeah, the good thing about Pulp Fiction is that it has very easy tap out points, right? With its chapters. And it's like, oh, well, we get to the end of this, and you want to know what? We can just fast forward through the cab ride with Bruce Willis, because that is easily the most boring thing that Quentin Tarantino's ever shot.
American Werewolf in London.
Butch. What kind of name is Butch?
We definitely watched Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. I lied and told Penny it was the greatest submarine combat movie of all time, which I stand behind.
Oh, man. All right, dude, we're at the end. We made it to the end of the week.
Oh, wow. You're not kidding. All right. Well, dude, you guys are the best. We love you. We'll see you on Monday. Goodbye.
See ya.
Where's the thingy to make the thingy happen? Oh, there we go.
Night Attacks Happy Hour.
Ed Wood.
Night Attacks Happy Hour.